Right, we get back to racing a few minutes just after the original time, and we are getting set and ready for our last race of the 2025 Chrono Karting Dutch Championship for Rotax and for KZ2. And here is your starting order for our Micromax and Micromax Rookie Final. Both titles still up for grabs at this moment. So the starting grid is as follows: Jesse Moonen, Lasse van der Weide on the front row of the grid. Connor Halfer, who is 3 points behind Jesse Moonen for the Micromax title, rounds out the top three. Maxime Ball, Julian van der Poel, Kenji Schreurs, Adrian Krogel, Amezi Ozani, Ian Halfer, Quinten Krains, Mick Echtelt, Hossein Al-Hosseini, Leonard Marks and Henry Moya round out the field. In terms of the Micromax rookie side of things, Leonard Marks leads away by 6 points ahead of Kenji Schreurs, a further point ahead of the number 17 of Adrian Krogel. Ian Halfer and a further 12 points adrift, with the top five rounded out by the number 11 of Mick Echtelt, completing the top five by 27 points, which means if, and I say it this way, if it is the case that Jesse Moonen finishes ahead of Connor Halfer, the Micromax title is done. But if Connor Halfer wins the race and Jesse Moonen finishes third, then it goes the way of the German. This time we up the ante. For every single final from now on, it is 13 minutes plus 2 additional laps. So more of a strategy comes into play. And the drivers will have to bring their A game for this final encounter. Red lights are on the starting gantry for what will be the final time for these drivers here in Chrono Karting for 2025. Into the tram lines, revs start to rise. The final, does it get underway? Yes, we do go lights out first time. And it's the run down into turn one. Connor Halfer straight away on the offensive and goes through on Jesse Moonen through at T1 for the race lead, but Moonen able to counter around the outside on the entry into turn two to retake the race lead. Halfer, however, wants to get to the front of the field as quickly as humanly possible and start to try and bridge a gap. Now, if you might remember, Jesse Moonen built a gap that was north of 8 seconds after the race had been concluded earlier on today. And with regards to the way things are looking, Kenji Schreurs might be in that window early of being at the head of the rookie division. Some of the titles have already been decided, but we'll talk you through that a little bit later on. After the opening lap, Jesse Moonen has a lead over Connor Halfer to the tune of nearly 1 second. Lasse van der Weide, Maxime Ball and Amezi Ozani round out your top five. Maxime Ball looking to the outside of van der Weide into turn 6. Right, number 7, Julian van der Poel has just picked up a 3-second time penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, reference driving standards. But Yesemunen is pulling away into the distance. This is going to help the number 10. And that will mean that Yesemunen will win the title by effectively 6 points. Leonard Marks at the moment has made up 3 places, now rounds out the top 10 overall. But in terms of the rookie side of things, is all the way down in 7th. Coming into this round, Adrian Krogel was leading by 1 single point ahead of Kenji Schreurs. Leonard Marks was quite a way behind. Obviously, this does take drop scores into consideration. Yesemunen is trying to make it without a shadow of a doubt that it will be a perfect weekend for the number 10 in the office here at the home of champions. Lasse van der Weide still being hounded by Maxime Bal as Emzeni Ozani on the number 22 Praga is closing in. So is Kenji Schreurs as Maxime Bal tries once again to go around the outside of Lasse van der Weide on the approach into turn number 6, but there's going to be a change possibly for position. Not quite. Kenji Schreurs nearly got through on Emzeni Ozani. Less than 9 minutes to go in the championship season for Micromax and Micromax Rookie, plus 2 additional laps. And once again, Maxime Bal versus Lasse van der Weide is not abating in any way, shape or form. Zani is right with them. Again, Maxime Bal to the outside. Oh, bit of a wriggle there from Lasse van der Weide coming out of turn number 6. And that nearly caused dramas for everyone behind. And Maxime Bal has only partially got the job done, but to the outside he goes on Zani, who looked through on the inside at turn number 10 on the run through to 11, and now Zani looking for a possible move here. That's going to open the door for Maxime Bal to get through at turn 13 and take 3rd. And it's 3 wide nearly heading into turn number 1. Maxime Bal, Emzeni Ozani and Lasse van der Weide now loses another position, this time to Kenji Schreurs. Incredible battling between these youngsters. Oh, but a moment! No, Kenji Schreurs coming out of turn 5. Nearly beaches it on the outside curbing coming out of turn 5 and onto the Europalan. Oh, hang on a second. The rain has just come down. Oh dear, it can be, all I'm going to say is, like Zolder and at Spa, it can be sunny in one part and it can be raining in another, and that rain is carrying over the circuit. Oh no! Van der Weide off at turn 10. Slippery surface flags now out. And that was Emzeni Ozani at the same time. The sunshine still above. We'll have rainbows in the sky. And there is one just overlooking the position from live timing and commentary. But Dramas has hit the field with over half of the race still to run. And they are all on the Mojo C2 tyres. It is going to be like skating on an ice rink. That rain, whew, that is still coming down. I mean, half the circuit's pretty, I think half the circuit could be dry, or if the rain is coming all the way across, well, it's hit the majority of the control tower here. You can just see how treacherous it can be for a young driver to get through around this 1.36 kilometre circuit on slick tyres. And you can see there are look how much understeer that Jesse Moonen is having to deal with. And slippery surface flags are circuit wide. Who would have thought of that one? Forget Spa-Francorchamps, forget Zolder. Here we are at the home of champions. Right, 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go, plus 2 additional laps. And the rain, once again, catches us out unawares. There are some more significantly dark clouds out there. But when you have sunshine and rain at the same point, what you do have is a rainbow. So you don't see it very often, but when it does, it is a sight you don't forget. But the drivers will be concentrating on getting around this circuit and getting to the checkered flag. But at the moment, well, let's put it into perspective. Jesse Moonen's fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 3.421. His last lap, a 1:32.405. And as quickly as the rain has come along, it is evaporated into the upper atmosphere. Now, whether that might happen again, your guess is as good as mine, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone watching. But that gap between Jesse Moonen and Conor Haufer was significant. It was just under 3.2 seconds last time around, and it's now gone down to just under 3.1. So Conor Haufer is slowly but surely starting to catch Jesse Moonen, but they are both in the same boat. On slick tyres, on a wet track. Now with the sun comes warmth, and thereby comes a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, which means that the track will eventually start to dry up. How quickly it dries up, however, your guess is as good as mine, folks. And still, all 14 drivers, including the number 7 of Gillian van der Poel at the bottom end of the field, are still running. They have made it through a very, very sudden and very significant downpour of rain. But these drivers have done a very, very credible job of keeping their vehicles on the black stuff. Now, if anyone might remember a little story about a certain man by the name of Jenson Button, whose father John would send him out in conditions very similar to this on slick tyres. So this, for the drivers, is a fantastic learning opportunity. Meantime, with just over 1.5 minutes to go, plus 2 laps, Jesse Moonen is nearly 4.5 seconds ahead of Conor Haufer. Lasse van der Weide still leads in the rookie division, ahead of Adrian Krogel. Now, whether this might change things in the Micromax rookie division, it might be the case that Adrian Krogel might be the driver that has that window of opportunity to become the Micromax rookie champion. So with less than a minute remaining, Some drivers are finding it easier than others. But it is about smooth and consistent driving. It's not always about going 10 tenths. You know, if you drive, well, there was a little bit of a moment there for Quinten Krebs on the Paralin chassis, who was closing in on Maxime Ball, who's very close to possibly losing that 5th place. But we have what will effectively be 3 more laps to go, as Jesse Moonen is just under 4 kilometers away from championship glory, leading Conor Haufer by nearly 5.9 seconds after 10 laps. The lap times are improving. We're now in the 126s, as is Lasse van der Weide versus Adrian Krogel on the number 17 IPK Praga entry. Hossein Al-Husseini now moves up into P9, having moved 3 places up the order, having started 12th. But Jesse Moonen now making his way down into turn 10. What is the 2nd from last time? And the wind has really picked up again. 22 kilometers an hour to the northeast. The Rotax Mojo banners and the XPS banners just off the start-finish straight are flapping in the breeze, and they're angled to one side, basically because of the way that the wind is blowing. 2 tours remaining, and Jesse Moonen now has a 6.3 second advantage over Conor Haufer. It is Moonen's race to lose at this point. But even with a spin, even if he finished behind Conor Haufer, well, it may not make that much. But when you think about it, Jesse Moonen has had 5 wins. Conor Haufer, 4 wins. And this second one here will make all the difference for the number 10. Who's now got 30 after this, 13 corners, 1,360 meters, because we go onto the final lap of the season. Jesse Moonen now striding towards turn 1 for what will be the 13th and final time. The number 13, unlucky for some, lucky for one individual. As Moonen makes his way down towards turn 5 and onto the Europelon, has nearly an 8-second advantage over Conor Haufer in the last few moments of this season. And still, the youngster in the number 10, looking very calm, very composed. Smooth is fast, they say. And as the track begins once again to evolve, Jesse Moonen's previous lap was a 1 minute 19.169. An improvement over 2 laps before that of over 7.3 seconds. But down to the final 2 corners, Jesse Moonen from Belgium, the number 10, is going to come out of the final corner and become the 2025 Micromax champion this season. And now it sets in. Now celebrations. Conor Haufer, I have to say, battled all the way to the checkered flag. Takes 2nd position, not just in the race, but also in effectively the Micromax Open this year. Lasse van der Weide takes P3 and top rookie. And I think maybe Adrian Krogel might have just done enough to possibly become the Micromax Rookie Champion. It also depends on where everyone else ended up, because Leonard Marks is going to be all the way down in 10th position, and that is going to be P8. That might not be enough, but Yesemunen, Profisiat, congratulations, the 2025 Micromax Open champion this season. And now the pointing has started. We've got 2 flags to give out. Yesemunen takes the win. Conor Halfer in second. Lasse van der Weide, P3. Adrian Krogel, Maxime Ball, Quinten Kreins, Amizio Zani, Kenji Schreurs, Hossein Al-Hosseini, Leonard Marks, Henry Moya, Ian Halfer, Mick Echtelt and Julian van der Poel round out the top 14. And here is what we call the customary lap of honour. And when the pointing, let's see who is going to get, who's going to be directed to come out. Well, look at this. Conor Halfer. No, it's not Conor Halfer. That's Leonard Marks. Gratuliere der junge deutsche Pilot, der Nummer 73, who does get... So this is what we do every single final race of the season. So there is Ton from Chrono Karting handing one flag to Yesemunen, the other to Germany's Leonard Marks, and now they will do a lap of honour and bring it back into the pit lane. So congratulations to these 2 drivers, Yesemunen, Micromax champion, and Leonard Marks, Micromax Rookie 2025 Chrono Karting champion. And what a fitting place to run a lap of honour, as they will be greeted by the flag-waving marshals, our men and women in that always are with us and do a fantastic job. And they will celebrate with our 2 drivers, Yesemunen and Leonard Marks, who at a snail's pace, rather than full throttle, can enjoy the circuit. And the visors open, and I'm sure that there are Cheshire Cat smiles on both their faces. Well and truly earned by anyone that gets the opportunity to take this ceremonial lap of honour here at Karting Genk. So they do take a little bit of a shortcut down through halfway across the Europalan. But congratulations to these 2 young drivers. Yesemunen, who knew that the job was done the minute he crossed the line and took the checkered. And Leonard Marks will remember this moment for a very, very long time to come. The youngster from Germany in the number 73, despite the bumper scraping a little bit on the front. But congratulations to these 2 young drivers, as that concludes our first honour lap here at the season finale.